Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. See lots of you already waiting, which is lovely. Thank you so much. Morning, June, Eunice. Morning, Heather and Jude. Jenny, Sue, Pat, Lynn, May, Catherine. It sounds like it's horrible out there. And Sue. Oh, well, we've got a lovely day here at the moment. Windy as usual. But it always is windy here, which when we had that hot weather, I have to say, was an absolute relief. But at least the sun is shining for a little while, and I hope that it will do for those of you that have not got the sun at the moment. So it's Fancy Fold Friday, and we are going to make another fancy fold, and I don't know what we call this one. This is a bit of a prototype, this one. So it's not in the sort of colours that I would have gone for, hence the colours sitting here that I would have gone for. So it's a little bit different. And again, it's made out from one A4 piece of card. And I really want to try and keep to that if I can, because as I said before, I think we've all got a piece of A4 card that we could have a go at. So this one is a little bit different because we've included a bit of ribbon, so therefore it must be a closure. So if I just undo the ribbon there, you can see it in all its glory. So it's finishes and fits into an A6 envelope. So you can see that it's that sort of a size. I've just thought that I have not turned off my phone thing. Yes, I have. All is well. Hold on, sorry. And the beauty of it is that when it comes to you there, undo it, open it up, and we've got an open card like that. So I think that's quite cute, don't you? Put it all together and it opens and shuts like that. Okay, so that's how we're going to go. Some sort of a double fold card, I think you would say, but I don't know what you'd call it. So maybe you can think of a name. I've seen something like this on the internet, but I have used different measurements than the one I saw because I want it to might have a couple of sheets of A4 card lying around, just a couple of 100,000. Anyway, so as I said, this wasn't the sort of colour that I would have chosen. I was just fiddling about and trying to get the measurements right. So that's the prototype, but I hope that we will make something more pleasing to me in a different colour. So let's just put that to one side. And whoops, hold on, and bring this one over. So I'm going to be doing it in a blue colour. Now, I've chosen yet again, I'm sorry to keep on choosing these because I'm sure you've got loads of loads of papers that would be convenient. But I actually like using these perfect partners. Now, I did have the strawberry and the peppermint ones in just recently, but they have all gone. But I have managed to get a few other colours. So they are available now. Now, I'm going to use powder blue, but there's also black and white, which is really classy. There's lovely lavender. There's a few more bubblegum pink. I managed to get a few more bubblegum pink and navy and white as well. So they come in the same way that they are an 8x8 piece of paper, 160 GSM, and they come in 6 different designs, and there are 6 of each of those. So they've got some lovely colours and just about basics to go with what card that I want to do. I'm using Periwinkle as my base, Periwinkle foundation card, and it's an A4 piece. So I'm going to put that to one side. That's just going to have to sit on the side there whilst I do this. So bringing in my cutter, I first of all need to extend that arm, and I'm going to take it round the long way, and I'm going to trim this to 26 centimetres. So that's just about 10¼ if you're doing in inches. So I'm just putting my end piece there to 26 centimetres and taking that bit off, and I'm not going to be using that bit, so we can throw that bit away. Then I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to cut it exactly in half, which is at 10½ centimetres. Okay. So I've now got two pieces that are 10.5 centimetres there, and 26 centimetres from beginning to end. And as I said, I like to get it from an A4 piece of card, which is why I'm doing those measurements. But if you wanted to do it any differently, I'm sure that you could. So then I'm going to take my my cutting blade off, because I now want to just use my scorer. And I'm going to put my piece of card back in, and I'm going to score it at 14 centimetres. So it isn't in half. So don't think that this piece of card is in half. It is not. So it is at 14 centimetres. And I'm going to score that. And I'm going to do exactly the same to the other piece. So both pieces need to be scored at 14 centimetres. Okay. So then with my smallest piece on the left hand side, so that bit's obviously a bit bigger, I'm going to take that bit there and I'm going to measure. Let me just check that I'm getting this right. Hold on a second. I'm having to think. Yeah, I'm bringing 1.5. That's the one. That's the one. I tell you why I'm thinking, because when I looked at the instructions of someone else did, I got confused.com, and it really didn't make any sense to me, but hopefully this one will. So she says, so with this score line in the track that shows you where it should be scored, keeping that in place, I now want to measure, make a little mark at 1.5 centimetres. So just a little pencil mark. I'm going to make it quite large so that you can see it rather than not, she says. Okay, so that's at 1.5 centimetres. And the same with this one as well. So making sure that the fold line is in the track and then making a mark at 1.5 centimetres. Okay, so then I'm going to take my piece of card and I'm going to do my scoring bit, which is then putting my mark into this track here. So lining that mark up with this track and then lining this opposite corner to the track as well. Sorry, you can't see that. So it's lining that mark there and that mark there, that corner there. Okay, so I just need to get that as as direct as I can, and I'm taking my scorer and scoring along that line. Okay, do you know that didn't exactly score where I wanted it to, so I'm just going to have to do that again. Sorry, it's got to be right for me. That's better. Okay, and I'm going to do exactly the same with that. So the mark line there to the point there. Just put that in there so I can see that, and just score those two pieces like that. Okay, so this is your card base. Two card bases there now. Now we need to just fold them in. So I'm going to fold this one into here. So I've got the smallest piece on that side, and then this is the opposite one, folding that in. Okay, and then I'm bringing this one back. And that one back like that. And then when we put the two together, got to stick that together. We've got our base. Okay, so it's the two pieces. So let me just go over that again. Having scored them, so we've got them scored, we then fold them in half. Okay, so fold both of them in half, and then on the score line of the diagonal, we bring that flap back. Okay, so back down, and on this one, it's back up because we're doing the opposite corners. So then we need a piece of glue, and we're going to stick these two bases together. Okay, so a little bit of, a little bit of glue around there. And then stick this one directly over the other one, like that. Okay, so then again, when we pop the pieces together, we've got that diagonal fold. Okay, so now we're going to do a bit of decoration to it. And I've decided to use a contrasting colour, which is this one, which is a Crafts 2 linen card, and it's called Ultramarine. So it's the darker blue. All right. So I have already cut this piece to 10 centimetres by 10 centimetres. So that's that piece ready. And then I'm going to choose a piece of my Perfect Partners. And I use dots a lot, don't I? So let's go for a dotty flower. Oh, you know what I mean. A flower. It's just a basic flower. It's not a dotty flower. It could be a dotty flower. So this piece was 10 centimetres by 10 centimetres, and this piece square is going to be 9.5 centimetres squared. So let's just get that into there. Oh, better put my cutter back on. So 9.5 centimetres squared. Okay. So then we need to cut this diagonally. So I put corner to corner on here. So corner to corner on my track in the centre, if I possibly can. And as always, my top tip, if you're cutting corner to corner, is to make sure, if you're using one of these slider rules, that you, slider trimmers, I should say, that you start your cutter off halfway, because whoops, I moved that, because if you're trying to get sharp points like that, you need to start off halfway. Otherwise, if you start off, you'll start pushing the card and you're going to get crumpled edges. And there's nothing worse than a crumpled edge. Okay, so I've done that with that, but I also need to do it with this. So again, put our points into the track. Try, if possible, to keep that straight. And again, make sure that I start that halfway so that I can get that crisp point there. Okay, so let's just pop that to one side for a second. So these need to go together here. So you'll find, she says, hopefully, that will give you a very nice thin border. And I think that you could give it a bigger border, but I do find that if you wanted to give it a bigger border, sometimes with a darker colour underneath, the dark colour of the card can overshadow all of your pattern. You see what I mean? So just a very thin border is quite sufficient. Okay, you can see it more if I show it onto there. So just a nice thin border. So we'll stick those two onto there. Okay. Oh, I got so carried away. I'm not looking at any comments here. Have I tried the pilot pens that you can heat to remove the marks? No, I haven't, Janice. Have I? Do you know, I don't know whether I have or not. I'm just thinking whether I had such a thing. Oh, Jill, I missed something. You're not very well. That's no good. We need you. Have I got the darker blue in the shop? I'm not 100% sure, but I have got plenty in stock, so I will double check, and I will put it in the card stock section, possibly, and I'll also put it on the Facebook Live. I'll double check that. Oh, sorry to hear that, Jill. Sorry that you're not well. Right, so without Jill, but I'm sure she'll join us later, these need to go then into position onto my folded diagonals here. So obviously when you're doing this, you do need to have a pattern that is not going to be, what's the word? Unpleasant to the eye. You do need to have a pattern. So if you've got stripes, that's fine, but they need to all be showing in the same direction. And because this card twists and turns, it probably isn't a good idea to use the stripes, but any of the others, the dots, the daisies, the check, because I use the check on my other one. So it gives, so putting that nice little ½ inch border, ½ centimetre, gives you a nice neat finish there. Okay, so again, I like doing this bit. Ta-da! I can't help it, you know, I can't help it. So then we're going to do the inside of the card. So we've got a piece here to work with, and that is 14 centimetres by 10.5. So if we do 13 centimetres by 13.5 centimetres by 10, we should be on the right piece for that. So I'm going to do that with my dark piece again. Okay, so let's just pop that up there. So I'm going to cut a piece that is 10 by 13.5, which it was taking just a fraction, ½ centimetre off all the way round. And that should fit in there with a little border. Looking good. I can stick that one down already, because I don't need to do anything more to that one. Okay, so that's my first panel for the inside. And so that one was 13.5 by 10. So now I'm going to cut a piece out from white card that will be 13 by 9.5. So going and taking ½ centimetre off all the way around. I will put the measurements at the bottom of this video afterwards, so don't worry if you're lagging behind on that. So now you can see that that fits in there. Now, one of the reasons why I like to use these papers is because it's whatever the colour is plus white. You can match the card, pull the card in, so it looks quite nice then that you've got the white flowers here and the white on there. Okay, so that's another reason why I do like to use those perfect partners. So before I stick that one, I want to put a little bit of decoration on there. So I'm going to bring in my stamping platform, and I'm going to pop that up in that right corner, but I'm going to hold it down with one of the magnets as well. And then I'm going to use this stamp. So this is a stamp set from Nellie Snellen, and it's called Rose Corner. It is a limited edition one, so I have got a few on the website, but not very many. I don't know why they only do limited editions, but there you go, they do. So let me get a piece of my acetate. Hold on, because I know that I was playing about with colours on this, so I don't want to mark this. So I'm just going to cover that up. Oh, get it round the right way in a minute. Cover that up and then pop this into position in the corner. Okay, so it's obviously it's a corner one, but it's not exactly the same on all corners there. And the ink I'm going to use today, because I felt it went the best, is the Eyes Ink Nuit, or Midnight, I think that is, or Night really. And I think that this is probably the best colour, but might take a couple of pushes down. Oh no, that's rather nice. I think I will do just one more. It's nice and subtle. The other colours I was using were a little bit too in your face. They were too bright, and I didn't want it to be too bright. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so that's my Rose Corner. And then I'm going to put a sentiment on, and I'm going to bring over my selection here, because these are the ones from John Lockwood. Let's have a look. Bring in that just in case. Could have that one. Hold on. I'm fiddling now, and I'm allowed to fiddle. I'm allowed to fiddle. Let's celebrate your birthday and forget your age. It's too late. Let's go for that. Now, the sentiments that I used on my other card, just the other one, which I'll show you again in a minute, they're from the Sentimentally Yours Beautifulistic or something like that. But I'm afraid I don't know that any of them are available now. So subsequently, I have not gone for that one. Because I know what you're like. If you see it and you want it, well, I'd be like that anyway, that if you see it and you think, oh, I really love that, and then you can't get it, it's pants, actually. Quite pants. So just going to put that back so that I know where it is. What I've done on there is I've taken one of my foam boards and I've put all the stamps on there, and they correspond to all of the sentiments on there, because I do use these such a lot, as you can tell. They are used quite a lot. And then I find that I can sort of see where they are and go to it. I do use that one a lot. So that's why that's like that. So here we go. That's our, I'll be bringing that board back in just a second, because I want to now stick this on here. So here's my board. And that, as we know, fits in the centre like that. I do like that. I know I've done it, but I do like it. So that's just as well, isn't it? So now that we're going to close it up again, and the crucial bit is we need to, we're going to put a sentiment on, and we're going to just pop the ribbon in place as well. But there's just one thing you need to remember. Now, this time I've cut out a hexagon. So I've used the double stitched hexagons for the outer one, and then the corresponding plain ones for the inside. Now, the secret to this is to make sure that when you put this on, that it's stamped in such a way that when it comes round that way, that it's still in the right position. Because if you put it on the bottom one, don't know how to explain this. Hold on, let me turn it over. And I'm going to write the word hello on the back. Okay, so let us pretend if I stick that onto the bottom piece, the bottom flap, so let's pretend I've stuck it. When I open it, that's okay as well. Oh dear, how many times did I do this? Whatever. The main thing is you need to make sure that your sentiment is going to be right round the right way. So if you put your card, let's do it like that. That'll be the wrong way, she says. Yeah, that's the wrong way. So if you made your card and put your sentiment up round that way, so you stuck it round that way, when you open it, your sentiment's going to come down, yeah? Which obviously is going to look a bit naff, because you want it to look nice when it's open as well as when it's closed. So it needs to go on into position that way round, like that. So just going to need to put a sentiment onto there. So just pop that to one side one more time. And I'm going to just work with my sentiment there. So I'm going to pop that into the corner. Can't really put any of my magnets on there because it's so tiny. But I just need to make sure that the corner is flush against this side and the line is flush against there. And I'm just going to protect it because I know that I've got some ink on there and I don't want it to go on there. So now we could be very clever and yeah, let's go for that, shall we? Okay. Well, I need to bring it down, so I need to be very clever. So I will put a sentiment, and I've just got ink on it. So we need to cover that bit. So let's just put that there. So I'm being very risky here because I don't usually do that of putting it in the middle. But I'm going to because I fancy putting this on the side there. Why not? I can if I like. So putting that into position, picking that up, taking that off, inking up my stamp. Don't know quite how I made so much mess there. And then, oh, that looks nice. We need a double go though. Nice, nice, like that. I like that. It's a good job I don't mind talking to myself, isn't that really? And I think we will go for a happy birthday there. So again, bring my template in. I need to put that up there now. Get that round the right way. Use the grid lines of my acetate to make sure that it's going to be straight. Pick that up, take that off, ink it up. And then just pop that down. Might need a second go. Think we do. Jane, the stamp, I've realised that I have put the wrong time on there. I've put it that it isn't available till 11 and it should have been at 10 o'clock. So I will sort that out as soon as I come off there. I will sort that out. As I will then pop up the card. So if you give me a few minutes when I leave you, I will pop up the blue card as well. So now I shall pop this. Whoops. Oh, goodness me. Come on, bit of glue. And then pop that onto there, giving up myself that little border. Like so. And then bring my card in again and just double check that I'm going to pop it onto there. And before I stick it down, I'm just going to hold that there and just check that when we open it, it will be the round the right way. Okay. I'm only telling you that because I do not know how many times I got it wrong yesterday. So now I just want to put a bit of closure ribbon on it. So I'm going to take a piece of my double-sided tape and I'm going to put that just along that piece there. Going to stick that onto there. I think that gives me a little bit longer, gives me enough room. Okay, and then I'm going to stick another bit on the top of it as well, just to make sure that that's all stuck down. Then I need to put my sentiment piece, and I'm just going to put glue on one section of it because obviously I don't want it all over, don't want it to stick to that as well, but I'm going to sort of center that as much as I can. Then we will be bringing my bit of ribbon round and then just tying that up. And I will just trim off. I don't want quite such long legs to it. Just trim a little bit off. So there we are. Whatever we call this card, double flip. Should we call it a double flip? Yeah, let's call it a double flip card. I can't come up with any other names, I'm afraid. Double flip card. That'll do us. Does that sound all right? So, yeah. So let's just go through it again. Once we open it, we then open the card up and we have got, in terms of where would you write the sentiments, your whatever you'd like to write, you could write a bit down there. You have got room there, but where I would have written it would have been right on the back, to be honest with you. So, but I think that although I'm bringing the other one back in now, although this was different, and I do like this font here, but I've used a different size and everything. And so this one was the lovely lavender with a creamy sort of an ivory colour. So, you know, the same yet different, really. But there you go. So there's today's card for you. Just need to rub those pieces off. Don't think that rubber's going to be very good on there. I think that rubber might leave me more marks than the rubber itself. So maybe not. There we are. Rubbed those bits off. So yeah, there you go then. Okay, so there we have it, our double flip card. And let me tell you, whilst I do that up, what the news is now. So I will check the website, make sure that everything is showing on there. We have got online classes tomorrow, so looking forward to seeing all the ladies that are going to join me from that. And then on Sunday morning, we have Sunday special, back to the normal time of 11 o'clock. And got a really pretty, very simple, but it looks as if you've spent ages doing it, little card and little project for you for Saturday, for Sunday special at 11. Okay, so it is an unusual card. I do hope you like it. It's pretty. Yeah, and another group of people I shall be seeing on Monday as well to do the craft online, so that'll be good. Yeah, double flip. Oh dear. So I'm glad you like it, everybody. It's a different card, isn't it? Okay, I don't know why that's not showing very well. That's better, isn't it? That's better. So I shall take a photograph of this, pop it up on the website, make sure all the items are up and available for you. Have a great day. For those of you who aren't feeling too special today, I do hope it's a better day for you. Just take it easy. It took me a while. You can pause this and stop as you wish to go. So don't forget that. And I will put up the measurements underneath so that you know where you're scoring and cutting. But again, all made from one A4 piece of card. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.